who are attending this class. Today, I would like to explain about the neo-Lamarckism, which concisely. Lamarckism is one theory which one based on the trend process of evolution. According to the name of the scientist, philosopher, ecologist, naturalist and evolutionist, Lamarck, this theory is known as Lamarckism. Lamarck postulated initially the theory Lamarckism, and the Lamarckism or acquired character of inheritance, the same thing, but this theory was criticized by some other scientists. So, some scientists also modified the concepts of Lamarck and they designed to it according to the name of the Lamarck, called as neo-Lamarckism. Neo, N-E-O, neo, N-E-O, neo. Neo means new. This is known as new Lamarckism. This is one modification. Modified form of Lamarckism is known as here neo-Lamarckism. Neo-Lamarckism proposes that 4 points. First point regarding the environment. Environment does influence an organism and change in the heredity somehow, and so it is considered as first in the neo-Lamarckism. Secondly, at least some of the variations acquired by an individual can be passed on to the offspring. Third, the third point is here, the internal vital force and efficiency do not play any role in the evolution. Point 4, only those variations are passed on to the offspring which also offset and also affect the germ cells or the where the somatic cell give rise to germ cells. Very interesting point. The fourth point, you find some variations that is also be passed to the offsprings from the ancestors, which also affect the germ cells or where somatic cells ultimately give rise to germ cells. You observe to any body, any organism, that may be lamb, may be cow, may be human being, or you consider any one organism. You see, from the somatic cell, the entire organism is constituted of some of the somatic cells converted into the germ cells. Okay, and those cells generally constitute the gonadial organs, and by them the gametes must be formed, and by the union of the gametes the process of fertilization would be complete, one zygote would be developed. Students, how fantastic this point! What is the nature? What is the ecosystem? You cannot imagine. You cannot think about the process of evolution also. Evidences in favor of the inheritance of acquired characters support the new Lamarckism. let us come to differentiate the neo-Lamarckisms with Lamarckisms. Please keep your brain on the process of evolution. Don't divert your brain anywhere. You concentrate your brain. One head is Lamarckism, other head neo-Lamarckism. The initial, which was postulated by the philosopher or evolutionist, or we say your naturalist, which was known as Lamarck. He postulated initially one theory which one is called as Lamarckism. But neo-Lamarckism is not designed by him. It is designed by the other workers. They designed, they modified the concept of the Lamarck. He generally named in there, and by others it is designed in the head of neo-Lamarckism. Let us go in detail about the different cell characters in here. It is the, first of all, Lamarckism, it is the original theory given by the Lamarck, first point. In second head, you see study that one on the neo-Lamarckism. In comparison, it is a modification of the original theory of Lamarck in order to make it more suitable to modern knowledge. Okay, then consider the point 2. The theory lays stress on internal vital force, efficiency, and use and disuse of the organs. Yes or no? But that is also considered in the neo-Lamarckisms. The neo-Lamarckism does not give any importance to those factors like vital force, efficiency, use or disuse of the organs. Clear? Neo-Lamarckism does not give any importance to those factors which I already described in here. Point 3. Students, it believes that change in environment brings about a conscious reaction in animals. But you mark that thought also be designed by the neo-Lamarckisms. The theory stress on the direct effect of changed environment on the organism. Okay? The theory generally stresses the direct effect of the change in the environment on the organisms. Point 4. According to the Lamarckisms, the acquired characters passed on to the next generation. And that thought generally described by the Lamarck in his theory, which is called Lamarckism. According to the Lamarckism, the acquired characters passed on to the next generation. It is possible? No, this factor is not possible. Some cases also. And neo-Lamarckism generally differentiate that character. Normally, only those modifications are transferred to the next generation which influence the germ cells, or where somatic cells gives rise to germ cells in there only, not at the other cases. Okay? In this manner, you can differentiate your neo-Lamarckism from the Lamarckism. It is very brief and concise concepts regarding the Lamarckism and neo-Lamarckism. Thank you. let us know about the another theory, which one proposed by one pioneer ecologist as well as evolutionist. He was known as your Charles Robert Darwin. Charles Robert Darwin generally remained in this inverse from the February 12, 1809 to 1882. Actually, he was the father of your modern evolutionist. About the evolution, modern evolution, he narrated in his concepts. Darwin theory of natural selection proves the survival of the first with inheritance of those species forming adaptation wherein the fitness lies. This theory is based on some factors. However, the outstanding contribution of Charles Darwin, you say Charles Robert Darwin also, and he remained in the world from the February 12, 1809 to April 19, 1882. On the field of biological evolution has given a proper shape to the concept of the organic evolution based on his own observation of nature and influenced by the ideas of contemporary biologists. Darwin had formulated the principle of origin of species. Okay? And you know the Darwinism, the term generally derived from his name. The Darwin postulated the theory for the modern evolution, and according to the name, the theory would be remembered in the term of Darwinism. Let us discuss very vividly regarding its life first and also work of him, and you may remember on the heading Life and Work of Darwin. Students, Darwin was born in 1809 in the month of February, and date is known as 12th death, and at the place of the Shrewsbury in England, and his grandfather Amos Darwin was a noted naturalist, and his father Robert was eminent physician, and after completing his early education at the Shrewsbury, and he was sent to your Edinburgh University at the age of 15 to study the medicine. See, since he did not show his interest in medicine, he was sent after 2 years to the Cambridge University to study theology. Theology, Theology. And there too, he was a failure in there, and however, he developed interest in natural history. That means about the biological science. His friendship with Professor Hendro and Henslow and Sedgwick and stimulated his interest in botany as well as the geology. Not geology, geology. On the recommendation of Professor Henslow, Darwin was appointed as a naturalist for a voyage of world exploration in the British Sea. HMS Beagle is the head of the British ship under him, and he worked in there. The ship left the flying out of England on December 27, 1831, and visited many islands of the Atlantic Ocean, coast of the South America, and some islands of South Pacific, including Galapagos Islands. And during his expedition, he was so much impressed with the dynamic force of nature that he was transformed from a passive observer into an evolution-oriented thinker. He realized that the Galapagos Island is a living laboratory of evolution. Actually, that island created this person as a wise and intelligent person on the basis of evolution. And he realized the Galapagos Island a living laboratory of evolution. He came across the giant tortoises and finches, kinds of the birds. They are located in that island and markedly different in different islands and mainlands. And you see, our lands are mainlands, and like Sri Lanka and like others, Lamarckism, these lands are called as islands. Okay, and you mark the islands and mainlands, and both are generally comes under his observation. He referred to the organisms in there, and he recorded his observations and carried samples of his collections on his way back to the England. From 1836, he was busy in analyzing his observation and collections and accumulation of the related factors and facts, and from the other scientists till 1844. Finally, he wrote an elaborate essay of 230 pages, but did not publish it. In order to reach at a final conclusion, he continued work up to the 1858. Remember, up to the 1858, while he was giving a finishing task to his theory, and he received an identical theory from Wallace. Darwin prepared an abstract of both of their findings and published them in the Proceedings Learning Society in 1858. The next year, in 1959, Darwin published his whole ideas in a book that is named as The Origin of Species. It is a famous book of the world, and The Origin of Species, which was judged by the large section of the scientists to be most important book of the 19th century. Students, I described about its life and his work to you. Then I explained the whole the process of Darwinism by some points to you, And that explanation is the theory is based on the following factors. First of all, you know the variation under the nature. Variation is the first and most fundamental evolutionary factor. The cause of the variations are the prime cause of evolution itself. Without the variation, no change would occur and evolution would have been impossible. The fact is that no two organisms or parts of the organisms are exactly alike. It is established truth and needs no argument. In this respect, Darwin laid the stress on the gradual and minute variation to explain the factors of evolution. The organisms you compare with your brother with other brothers, elder with younger. They may be alike, but not exactly alike. Okay, you can equivalent, but not equal in the all respects. Darwin laid the stress on the gradual and minute variation to explain the factors of evolution. Secondly, overproduction. Overproduction. The productivity of all organisms is far beyond the ultimate number which can possibly survive. The reason is that the population increases in geometric ratio, and whereas the space and the availability of the food supply remain the constant. It is not sufficient to them. Professor Huxley estimated that the descendants of the single green fly, if all survive and multiply, would be weighed down the population of the China at the end of one summer. Okay, the very peculiar data proposed by the Professor Huxley. And another example also we consider in here regarding the elephant. The elephant is the slowest breeder. Large animal maybe, but the slowest breeder among the mammals. Darwin calculated that a single pair starts among the mammals. The Darwin calculated that single pair starts breeding at the age of 32 years. Up to the age of the 100, they would be produce about the 6 young individuals, and with the ratio within the 75 years, there will be a 19 million of descendants. You know what is the fantastic result in here? And the power of breeding in all the organisms so rapid that if not destroyed, the earth will be soon be covered by the progeny of a single pair. Next point, you struggle for existence. A struggle for existence invariably also follows from the high rate at which all the beings and tend to increase. As more individuals are produced, and there exists therefore the struggle for existence among the organisms. The struggle is between the same kind of organisms of the same species. That is called as interspecific race, and because of their need are similar. The struggle may be among the different species. That is called as interspecific. One is intraspecific, other one is interspecific. And the latter one is the interspecific, and former one is the intraspecific. The third kind of struggle for existence against the physical conditions. In some cases, intraspecific check is the most severe check of all. The intraspecific struggle is more frequent because one species may afford food for the others. Mankind is very much concerned with the intraspecific struggle. Lastly, I shall explain you the fourth point of the Darwinism, which was based on the survival of the fittest and natural selection. You find many organisms and population is going to be more and more. The earth's surface is not sufficient to accommodate them. But you find all living beings are remain in the world. Some are also extinct for the long time. Some are is going to be extinct. Some are also be sustained. Some are also coming to the universe as a new species. The world is fantastic. We people all are fantastic. And our life is also so short. We cannot study all these things within a short period. But if you observe all things one after one, you cannot get the trace point of it. Evolution is so complex. However, the point 4, which one is here named as the survival of the fittest and natural selection. On the context, you should know, and this is nothing, it is the phenomenon, and during this phenomenon of the struggle for existence, it is believed that some individual perish because they cannot adapt themselves accordingly, and others are survive. They can accommodate with the environment, they accommodate the position and also habitat, and only those are survive. Those which survive always exhibit some remarkable attention, also alternation and departures from their original patterns. Darwin attributed and this cause from the origin of the species and described that in this way the new species are found which are proved as the most fit to live. Lastly, I gave one conclusion. The term natural selection was used for all the forces, namely overproduction of offsprings, struggle for existence, survival of the fittest, and variation and inheritance, and when working together, and the concepts of the Darwin actually is acceptable by the other scientists. Very few scientists also came against his concept, and that is called as the criticism of the Darwinism. Most of the events, most of the data, most of the experiments generally justify the Darwin somehow is perfect for the process of evolution.